Why did you choose to study religion and African American studies?
Why did I choose to study religion and African American studies? Well, it has a lot to do with Cornell West.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was in African American studies at Temple at the time. I am a Morehouse graduate and was very active politically, and decided that I wanted to pursue a broader knowledge of the people for whom I was engaged in activism on behalf of, you know what I mean? So it was wonderful in the sense that I was at Temple, I wasn't having a good experience. I went to a conference. Cornell West heard me give a talk. We then agreed to meet, and then circumstances had it that he asked me to come study with him at Princeton. And so he's been a model in that sense, and so it was that relationship that led me to religion and African American studies. Although at Morehouse I was I majored in political science and had a minor in religion.
Prior to that, you did have an interest in religion?
I had an interest in religion, but I really didn't think I was going to, pursue a PhD in it.
I see.
And I think it was only because it was at Princeton, and it was because I was studying with Cornell, that the two were combined.
So how did you envision that these two tools, your knowledge in African American studies and religion, would shape your future?
Religion becomes the point of entry for me to think about the complexity of Black life. And here's this institution that has historically been so important to everything about Black life. Out of religious institutions emerge Black civil society. And so part of what I wanted to do was think about how religious communities, how religious vocabularies, how religious ideas inform the very ways in which we conceive of politics. So my first book was entitled Exodus, Religion, Race, and Nation in Early 19th Century Black America. And it was really about how African Americans mobilized the story of Exodus to really imagine a national politics. So I wanted to think about how Black religious institutions, Black churches, for example,
Right.
are really these kind of nationalist institutions, right? Although they wouldn't describe themselves as nationalists, but as institutions that were really about community building, solidarity, shall we say, examples of Black solidarity and the like. So it turned out to be perfect, even though I kind of stumbled into it.
So with this work that you kind of stumbled into, how do you use this to try to inspire?
How do I use
others?
This to try to inspire?
Yeah.
My academic work informs how I read, how I see, how I think, how I talk. But I'm an intellectual beyond being an academic. And so what I hope inspires is just simply being on fire about ideas, being open to growth, to pushing the boundaries of my assumptions, to thinking carefully and in a nuanced way and in a complex way in public with others. To try to open up space where people can begin to imagine and dream bigger dreams. So what I think is that I'm on fire with ideas, I'm inspired by the life of the mind, and I try to get everybody else excited about that when they engage me. And in the course of doing all of that, I'm hoping I'm doing some good, because it's my calling, right? It's my vocation. People are in pulpits, I'm in the classroom, I read books, I run my mouth. That's what I do.
What is your biggest motivation to succeed?
I'm not really interested in success, though. I'm not really interested in succeeding. You know, ever since I was little, ever since I was on the coast of Mississippi, it wasn't about succeeding. It was about leaving my imprint. Somebody had to say, oh, he's been here. Not before, but he's been here. And so it's really about finding my own voice and understanding that sometimes that requires me to sing out of key with others. So what inspires me is really understanding that I'm a work in progress, that I'm finite, fallible, but that is something unique in the gifts that I have, and I need to put those gifts in the service of others. And then if I do that, then I'm all right to leave the planet. Then it's time to